Can you actually work from home and homeschool six kids? How is that even possible? Won't everyone demand your attention at the same time? Kids, clients, curriculum, laundry, and the random crisis of the day? Is it truly possible to build a business and homeschool without completely losing your mind? Mom, working from home brings up a lot of questions and doubts. These were my exact questions that kept me awake when I started my virtual assistant business many, many years ago. At the time, I was juggling babies, bills, and big dreams. Now, over a decade later, I run two businesses because apparently one wasn't enough, homeschool five of my six kids because the oldest one's already graduated, and still occasionally wonder if I'm a genius or slightly unhinged. Possibly both. However, here's what I've learned along the way. It is possible to work from home and homeschool. It isn't effortless. It isn't picture perfect, but it is absolutely doable. And it can even be deeply rewarding. Let me tell you how I got here and what has actually made it happen for working from home. Hello, Rebel Moms, and welcome to the Life Unboxed podcast. I'm Jody the mom, wife, homeschool mom of six, and successful mom entrepreneur. And I am bringing you information and inspiration on raising kids, running a business, and keeping your sanity. You can find the episode show notes, Rebel Mom checklist to help you homeschool confidently, tools to make your work from home life easier, and more information at lifeunboxed.blog. Now let's get into the show. Let me tell you about my life from corporate workhorse to mom entrepreneur. If you had asked me 15 or 20 years ago what my life would look like today, I would not have described this. Back then, I was commuting into Manhattan, pregnant with our second child, while already knowing there would be a third, and living a fast-paced corporate life. I probably would have imagined myself teaching three kids how to navigate the New York City subway while still working in high-powered suits on Broadway. That was our reality. Long commutes, expensive rent, two working parents, a growing family, and an ache in my heart that I didn't quite know how to name. Although I appreciated the opportunities, I didn't love being away from my kids. I wanted to be present for milestones. I wanted to shape their education. I wanted to build a life that aligned with our family's values. Yet at the time, I could not see a way out. New York is as expensive as everyone says, and walking away from a steady income at the time did not seem like a realistic option. Eventually, however, life shifted. We moved away from the city, and when my oldest approached school age, the homeschooling conversation became real. I was homeschooled from fifth grade through high school, and it was a very good experience. I wanted to give the same opportunity to my children. My goal was to homeschool by middle school. Fast forward a few years, just a few, because I refuse to acknowledge how quickly time moves, and that goal became our reality. Still, one enormous question remained. How would we afford it? The plot twist I didn't plan. For a while, I continued working. My income contributed significantly to our household budget, and walking away wouldn't have worked. Then we moved west for another job opportunity and bought our first home. For the first time, we had more rooms than children. So naturally, we added another baby to the mix. Shortly after baby number 4 turned 16 months, I was laid off. In one moment, my job disappeared, the childcare that came with it disappeared, and half our income disappeared. We were handed lemons, and yes, I briefly considered whether to make lemonade or freeze them and throw them at the people responsible. Instead, I leaned into something I had quietly dreamed about for years, and I started my virtual assistant business. I stepped into entrepreneurship. I became what I now call an accidental momtrepreneur. At first, it felt terrifying. However, it also felt freeing. I could be home. I could homeschool. I could build something of my own. I could be the queen of my schedule, which is the best work from home mom benefit. Okay, so how do you actually work in homeschool? Over the years, I have learned that success in this life does not come from superhuman stamina. Instead, it comes from intentional choices. While there are many strategies that help, three core principles have made the biggest difference. Number one, let go of the perfect so you can embrace the good. Let go of the idea of perfect. Moms tend to carry an invisible checklist of expectations. The house should be guest ready, meals should be balanced and homemade, school should run smoothly, business tasks should be completed flawlessly, social media should look curated, and of course, everyone should be smiling. However, when you have multiple children and a business, perfection is not realistic. If you chase it, you will exhaust yourself. Instead, I have learned to aim for good. Some days, dinner is frozen pizza, and you know what? No one is emotionally scarred by it. Some days, math takes longer than expected, and we adjust. Some weeks, my business grows rapidly. Other weeks, it maintains steady momentum. And not every subject needs mastery at the same intensity. Yes, academics matter, yet education is about equipping our kids for life, not forcing them to memorize information they will never use. I often remind myself that I am relearning concepts alongside my children because I forgot them years ago. That realization alone proves that not every detail needs lifelong retention. When you let go of perfect, you create space for peace. You also model resilience and adaptability for your children. It is about finding that work life balance, not the perfectly balanced Zen rocks, but the balance that comes from walking a tightrope. That is work from home for moms. Number two, build a flexible routine and protect it. You need a routine, not a rigid minute by minute prison schedule. Instead, you need a structured rhythm that sets expectations. If you don't know where to start, then start with a morning routine. And yes, I have all sorts of resources in the description below, so be sure to check that out. A routine creates predictability. It helps your kids grow into independent learners. It allows you to carve out focused work time. Without structure, everyone will wander into your office at random intervals, and you will feel like you're putting out fires all day. So in our home, we establish clear start times for schoolwork. The kids know that once breakfast is over, their responsibilities begin. They also know that while they can take reasonable breaks, school must be completed before they move on to other activities. Likewise, I establish working hours. My kids know when I'm available and when I am not. Although work from home happens in the same space as school, so it does get a little hectic. The important part of establishing work hours is that I have an end time. There is a clear time that I walk away from work. It is too easy to keep working because everything is right there. A flexible routine does not eliminate chaos, but it dramatically reduces it. Trust me, it does. Number three, stop believing work and homeschool are in conflict. Work and homeschool don't have to be in conflict. Many moms feel constant guilt when balancing work and homeschooling. On the other hand, you want to be fully present for your kids, but also on the other hand, you need to contribute financially. However, these roles do not have to compete. In fact, they can complement each other. Your children see you building something meaningful. They observe discipline, creativity, and perseverance. They learn that adults continue growing and working towards goals. Meanwhile, your business supports your family's educational freedom. Success does not have to mean a larger house or a luxury car. Instead, you can define success as flexible time, strong relationships, and the ability to guide your children's education intentionally. When you redefine success, the guilt begins to fade. So let's talk about the reality check. Let me be honest, life is not easy. I still have days when I question my choices. I still occasionally calculate what vacations we might afford if we were not purchasing curriculum or investing in business tools. There are days when clients require extra attention and my patience feels thin. There are moments when I wish I could simply clock out and rest. Yet, despite the challenges, I would not trade this life. I have front row seats to my children's growth. I know their strengths and struggles. I get to watch them dive deeply into interests that traditional school schedules might not allow. Although the path is demanding, the rewards are rich. Our relationships are strong, Communication flows more easily. The teenage years, while not without normal challenges, have not been nearly as dramatic as they could be. Because we spend time together consistently, we address issues early and reason through them thoughtfully. Moreover, I have grown personally. Entrepreneurship has stretched me. Homeschooling has humbled me. Together, they have shaped the life that aligns with my best unimagined life. Working from home while homeschooling multiple children is not a casual hobby. It requires intention, structure, and a willingness to release perfection. It demands flexibility and grit. Some days feel overwhelming. Some seasons require adjustment. However, it is absolutely possible. If you let go of unrealistic expectations, build a rhythm that supports independence, and redefine success on your own terms, you can create a life that supports both your family and your ambitions. It will not look like anyone else's version, and that is exactly the point. Thanks for listening, and be sure to check out lifeunboxed.blog and download your Rebel Moms checklist. Happy homeschooling and working from home, and I will see you next time.